Hello? I'm glad you finally made it here. I know it's hard to navigate through life, and sometimes you have to change your perspective to deal with the constant changes. I'm writing this book for you with hopes that it brings you grace and comfort. I hope you carefully listen to the words and know that this is compiled from years of study. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for listening. We are all humans. Chapter 1, The Study of Life by Ron Fleming. We all look very different from each other. We also speak differently from one another. You might not realize this, but our perspectives of life are not the same. People are afraid of what they don't understand. When you don't understand someone or something, this can cause fear, and fear eventually turns into hatred. We are the result of our environment and support structure. Your faith, family, and friends are part of these structures. If you were raised around pro basketball players, you most likely will become an athlete. If you are raised to have prejudices, you might carry those beliefs into adulthood. No matter how fucked up our parents raised us, it's up to us to recognize our faults. When you zoom out and look at the broader picture, you will realize that we are all humans. We all share similar commonalities. We all have faults. We all have a dark side. We all have emotions. Love, hate, jealousy. There are far too many commonalities to list. Once you realize this, you will begin to understand yourself, and you will empathize with people much better. When you have a better understanding of people and their perspective, you will learn there's nothing to be afraid about. This will reduce hate and will promote better communication with others.
Self-reflection. Self-reflection. Chapter 2. The Study of Life, by Ron Fleming. Self-reflection is the observation of one's mind and self. It's like stepping out of your body and analyzing the quality of the decisions you've been making. We must look from within ourselves to find our purpose. We are our own worst enemy, and our mind constantly gets in the way of our progression. Self-reflection is basically a series of unbiased questions that you ask yourself in private. The questions you ask yourself determine the type of character you'll be. It's important to constantly constructively criticize your thoughts and actions. Ask yourself, is your belief system flawed? Does this align with my morals? How could I have done it better? Know your strengths and weaknesses. You want to utilize your strengths to the optimal capabilities. Use your accomplishments to accomplish your next goal. When you find your weaknesses, take some time to train in that area. Make your weaknesses your new strengths. Some narcissistic people find it hard to practice self-observation. This is unfortunate, and unless you can recognize this deficit, this can make it harder for growth. Being aware of your thoughts and control your mind. You must plant only constructive thoughts because your thoughts create your reality. Catch all useless and negative thoughts, and omit them from your mind. Whatever you think about the most will eventually manifest in one way or another. This is why you should only think about only the things you want, and disregard the things you don't want, because they will eventually manifest.
Chapter 3, Knowledge. Chapter 3, The Study of Life by Ron Fleming. Blessed is the one who finds wisdom and the one who gets understanding, for the gain from her is better than gain from silver, and her profit better than gold. She is more precious than jewels, and nothing you desire can compare with her. Proverbs 3:13-15. Knowledge is the accumulation of everything you've learned throughout your life, and wisdom is understanding how you apply this knowledge. Wisdom and understanding is the continual pursuit of knowledge and self-mastery. They say your education begins after you graduate school. I believe you continually have a lifetime of learning and discovery. I often listen to the excuses from middle-aged people that refuse to let new information in. We mustn't limit our capabilities or options. We must also discipline our thinking and be more specific with the things we want to learn. When we practice continued learning, neuroplasticity starts making new connections in our brain, which in turn decreases the age of your mind. This results in a longer living lifespan. Seek knowledge as if it were an addictive drug. I picture myself connected to the mainframe, downloading information directly to my brain, like Neo in the Matrix movie. That movie might be close to reality. Quality information is freely accessible now thanks to the internet. The trick is to know what you want to learn and knowing what to look for. Just like everything else in life, the more you do it, the easier it gets. Understanding and Empathy. Chapter 4, The Study of Life by Ron Fleming. Any fool can know, the point is to understand. Albert Einstein. When you know something, it's not the same as you understanding it. Knowing is basically the accumulation of information that you gathered, while understanding is discovering where it fits in the application to life. Understanding is one of the key elements to a heightened consciousness. To understand humans, first you need to understand yourself. Think about what you value most in life. Is it respect, love, and compassion, a sense of security, a good education for your family, a nice-paying job? Is it wealth? The odds are a majority of the world wants to be afforded the same opportunities as you. When you understand this concept, you begin to realize that this person in Ukraine or this person in Vietnam have more in common than you realize. After knowing and accepting this realization, you can begin to understand what perspective people are reacting from. This is called empathy. Empathy is the ability to see the world from other people's perspective. It's also the ability to feel, replicate, and visualize a portion of people's pain or unresolvement. Practicing empathy will bring you to a higher level of consciousness. It will also give you a better understanding of yourself and how you interact with other people. Understanding someone empathetically leads to greater communication, harmonious living, and a relationship with greater chance for reciprocity.
Decide. Decide what you want. Chapter 5, The Study of Life by Ron Fleming. One of the biggest cliches is to follow your heart and to follow your dreams. That's true to a certain degree, but what happens if you don't know what your passion is, or what your dream is? It comes down to trusting your instincts and not fighting the process. It's important to stay curious to new ideas and be open to new opportunities. Your available options are limited only by your perception. Some of the best things come accidentally. You have to allow these accidents to happen, because sometimes your calling chooses you. It ultimately comes down to asking yourself what makes you feel happy. If nothing you're doing is making you happy, then it's time to search for something new. Much of people's success comes from trial and error. You just have to not let failure discourage you. A lot of people are scared to try new things because of risking failure. Those who neglect to try new things get stuck in a perpetual time loop, where every day seems like the last. This is like The Walking Dead. Those that never try to do new things often run out of things to do with themselves. They often lack inspiration. Life is like a choose-your-own-adventure story. You need to discover the path that feels best for you. Explore all possibilities and all options. Try it on for size first, then make your decision.
Jealousy Chapter 5, The Study of Life by Ron Fleming. There always seems to be some sort of burden that comes along with a gift. And there always seems to be a lesson to learn after you fall off a cliff. But when one masters this wretched desire, which is so hard to overcome, then one's sorrows just drop off, like a drop of water off a lotus. Gautama Buddha. Jealousy is an emotion that stems from your desires and attachments. It happens when you try to compare yourself to others. You find someone better than you, and this might make you feel inadequate. Jealousy could be considered a selfish emotion. People resent what they lack, but you must ask yourself, would you be envious of the steps it took to obtain the thing you envy? Are you envious of the sacrifice and burden that is attached to this thing that you envy? You shouldn't compare yourself to other people, because that's like asking, which is better, fire, water or air? If you have any jealousies, acknowledge them. And ask yourself, am I jealous of all the attachments that come along with what I'm envious of? If the answer is yes, then take the time to learn more about it. We should never compare ourselves to others, because we all offer something different and unique. Try to master your desires and don't be afraid to learn from one another. Thanks for listening.
Healthy Thoughts. Healthy Thoughts, The Study of Life by Ron Fleming. Chapter 7, Your Brain Controls Your Body. The brain is in charge of all your vital organs and important everyday functionality. We constantly go to the gym to exercise our body's muscles, but we often forget to exercise our most important organ we have. This organ is our brain. Our brain is also where our thoughts originate. Our thoughts are formulated by our life experiences and are stored in our subconscious and conscious mind. Our brain holds our thoughts, and our thoughts create our reality. Our subconscious mind controls our involuntary functions and thinking. Since the subconscious holds involuntary information based on our experiences, it also influences our consciousness with random thoughts. The thoughts can be positive and can also sometimes be negative. It's important to moderate toxic thinking because you can also manifest things, situations, or people with your thoughts. It is said by many scholars that whatever you think about long enough will eventually manifest in one way or another. This goes for good and bad thoughts. Have you ever thought about someone and 2 days later you get a random call from them? That's just one example. The things we hate in life are from the way we perceive it. With this in mind, we can live a happier life by simply changing our perception of things. So remember to think about only the things you want out of life, because they will manifest. Don't think about the things you don't want, because they will also manifest.
Loneliness. The Study of Life by Ron Fleming. Chapter 8. Loneliness is an emotion everyone feels at some point in life. Loneliness is a natural feeling that even the wealthiest people will experience. Some catalysts to loneliness could be lack of friends, a desire for companionship, a newly ending relationship, having a feeling of disconnect to the world, or your child moving off to college. As people, we crave reassurance for the things we say and do. If we don't receive this in one form or another, then we tend to feel isolated. That is why Facebook's like button is so popular. We all crave that reassurance. If we are unable to communicate with the people that we love, this can also cause loneliness. If you find yourself stuck with this feeling, there are different ways to battle it. I'm a firm believer in turning negative emotions into positive results. Some things can be overcome just by changing your perspective. It's important to stay active and stay busy. Try taking up a new craft like writing, music, video, art, comedy, or do research on your favorite topics. If you're feeling lonely, try changing your environment and behavior. Take a different route home, randomly say hi to a stranger, or share your knowledge with the world. Just changing one thing in your daily routine opens a new door of possibilities. Don't be afraid to initiate conversation or reach out to someone for help or advice, and don't be afraid to reach out to a friend, because odds are they are lonely too.
Chapter 9 The Study of Life by Ron Fleming. We are electricity, we are light. Our spirit looks like small glowing orbs of light that floats around. The spirit is our non-physical existence. Our body is the vessel to our spirit. Our physical body is temporary, but our spirit has no expiration. Our universe was made by the Creator. The Creator made humankind, and He also created all that exists. God is the Creator. God created us by being inspired with love and compassion. This is why we call Him our Father in heaven. God put us on earth so we can experience pain. God wants us to experience pain so that we understand love. We are here on earth to fulfill our purpose. This purpose is something that we need to discover for ourselves. Once we finish our purpose on earth, we are then led through a dark tunnel, where at the end is the most magnificent light you have ever seen and felt. This light holds a feeling of unconditional love, comfort, and acceptance. Little is known to what specifically happens, but it is said you are greeted by an angel or Jesus, where they show you your past and future situations. And they also decide if you stay or go back to Earth. This information is based on countless discoveries by people with experience in near-death experiences. Believe. Chapter 10 The Study of Life by Ron Fleming. Our minds hold unlimited powers to create endless multiple possibilities for oneself. The advancement of our thinking has led us from prehistoric cave dwellings to landing sophisticated probes on Mars. Your mind is the most powerful tool on Earth. We need to learn how to efficiently harness the power of the mind for oneself. Our brains are capable of accomplishing more than we realize. There is no limit to the amount of knowledge your mind can hold. To harness some of this power, you have to believe. When I say believe, I mean that in even the simplest form by acknowledging that your goal is absolutely possible. First and foremost, it is important to believe in yourself. Let me repeat myself. It's important for you to believe in yourself. When you believe in yourself, no one can influence you without your consent. You would also be able to accomplish almost anything you put your mind to. If you believe you can't do something, then you can't. If you believe that you can do it better and bigger, then you can. Believing is like visualizing the end result will come to fruition. When you believe you can do something, the mind goes through various scenarios on how you could accomplish your plan. This gets the creative juices flowing, then the chips start falling into place. You can't be afraid to fail, because it is going to happen. You just have to believe you will get through any and all adversity and stand patiently firm and focused with your missions. Stress. Stress. The Study of Life by Ron Fleming. Chapter 11. Stress is a natural emotion that we all feel from time to time. Stress is also what happens when you overwork something. Stress can be caused by a number of things like everyday work issues, bills, school, your love life, kids, or maybe you're in an uncomfortable situation. For whatever reason, we must learn to manage our stress. Stressful situations can wear out your body and decrease your health, and it can also deteriorate your quality of life. Just look at every president that started with a full head of dark hair. Their hair is gray now. Stress will also tighten your muscles and increase your blood pressure. It is important to identify the root of your stress and tackle it very early. Once you identify the source of your stress, all you can do is give your best effort to obtain the best possible ending results. No reason to dwell on things that are out of your power. Another way to mitigate stress is to exercise your body to release that added tension. Daily stretching is a routine you should have. Most of the time the mind adds additional unneeded stress by creating speculative scenarios in the mind. Stay mindful of unnecessary thoughts. A popular way to handle stress is to quiet the mind with meditation and conscious breathing. It's hard to learn how to meditate, but there are books that can help assist with this. Stress can cause anger, pain, resentment and a whole bunch of other problems, like breaking up relationships, but it can also be a motivator. It can motivate you to rise to a higher level of performance and inspire new growth. It's just a delicate balancing act that we all must learn to navigate through. It's up to you to prioritize situations that require an immediate response, and tackle them first, and never let stress rule your life. Attraction. Attraction. The Study of Life by Ron Fleming. Chapter 12. Look around in your room and take a look at all the stuff you have. These are the things you think about. This is what you attract. Now look at the type of people and the quality of friends you have in your life. These are the people you attract with your thoughts. Your thoughts attract other people with similar attitudes, beliefs, habits, clothes, and a whole multitude of other things. With that said, would you agree that our thoughts help create or manifest our reality? Well, they do. This is why we must control our mind, and not let our mind control us. It's important to be careful of what you think about, because you might unknowingly attract or manifest it. This leads us to a secret power that people are just now realizing. It's the law of attraction. This law suggests that anything you think about long enough will eventually manifest in one form or another. This goes for money, cars, homes, love, vacations, success or anything else you want. If you think about it long enough it will appear. You might not recognize it at first, so you have to stay consciously aware. Have you ever thought about someone you haven't heard from in a long time, and you get a random call from them? I don't know how, but your thoughts manifested them. When you think about something long enough, you begin to subconsciously obsess about it. Then you want to learn more about what you want from it. Then you start meeting people with the same interest that help with questions to your answers, which in turn brings you closer to what you desire. By the time you finally receive your manifestation, it won't be such a big deal because you will have thought about every aspect of it. The above paragraph would be considered a positive manifestation. If you don't control your thinking, you can create an unwanted negative manifestation. When you constantly think about your pain, suffering, anger, depression, loneliness, heartache, handicaps and other negative things in your life, you are just inviting more of the same. So only think about the things you want in life, don't think about things you don't want. Because whatever you think about long enough will eventually manifest, good or bad. Your mind is a garden, and your thoughts are your seeds. Plant only the seeds you want to grow, and they will manifest.